The rain had been falling since morning, turning the streets of Los Angeles into a blur of wet light and moving reflections. Outside the theater, where the charity gala was about to start, cameras were flashing and reporters were calling out names, their voices sharp against the steady drumming of the rain. Inside, the lobby was warm, filled with people in glittering gowns and tailored suits. But not everyone felt at home in that crowd. Keanu stood near the entrance, shaking the rain from his black coat. His hair was damp, and there was a quiet, almost shy expression on his face as he looked around. He had been invited to speak about a children's hospital he had been supporting for years, but big crowds still made him uneasy. He preferred quiet gestures, moments where no one was watching. On the other side of the lobby, Ana de Armas had just arrived, her green dress catching the light every time she moved. She was smiling politely as she greeted a few people she knew, but her eyes kept drifting toward the exit. This night was important for the cause, but she was exhausted from filming and from weeks of press events. She had almost decided not to come, but the thought of the charity's work had kept her from canceling. Their paths crossed near the refreshment table. Keanu had just reached for a glass of water when he saw a young staff member drop a tray of drinks. The glasses hit the marble floor with a shattering sound, and every head in the lobby turned to look. The young man's face turned pale. Without thinking, Keanu knelt down and began picking up the larger pieces of glass. Ina noticed and quickly joined him, ignoring the whispers around them. Together, they worked in silence for a few seconds, their hands moving carefully among the broken pieces. When the staff member tried to apologize, Keanu smiled softly and said, "It happens, don't worry." Anna nodded in agreement, adding, "We've all had nights like this." What neither of them realized was that someone had taken a picture of the moment, capturing the sight of two of Hollywood's most famous actors kneeling on the floor to help a worker. That picture would soon travel far beyond the theater. Later, as the speeches began, Anna found herself seated next to Keanu. They exchanged quiet introductions, and though they had met briefly before at industry events, this felt different. There was no rush, no flashing lights between them, just a calm space in the middle of a busy room. Keanu listened when she spoke, and Anna noticed the way his eyes stayed kind, even when the conversation was simple. As the evening went on, both of them felt something they hadn't expected, a reminder that small acts, even in a room full of grand gestures, could mean the most. But neither knew that tonight would mark the beginning of a story that would test them in ways neither Hollywood nor fame could prepare them for. A story that would pull them into situations where kindness was not just a choice, but a lifeline. The rumor in the test the next morning, the photo of them kneeling on the marble floor, was everywhere. It was on news sites, on fan pages, and on 1,000 timelines. Most comments were kind. People wrote that small acts mattered. People said, the world needed more moments like this, but not every voice was kind. Some posts said the moment looked staged. Some said it was a publicity trick. Some said famous people only help when cameras are near. Anna read a few comments while sitting by her kitchen window. Her coffee had gone cold. She put the phone face down and let out a slow breath. She did not like to read about herself. She did not like to read about others either. The words always stayed in her head for too long. Keanu was on his motorcycle, stopped at a light on Sunset. He felt the phone buzz in his jacket pocket, but he did not look. He liked to give himself one quiet ride before the day started. He watched a stray leaf slide across the street, wet from last night's rain. For a moment, the city felt slow and soft. When the light turned green, he moved forward and let the motion clear his mind. By noon, both of them were at the children's hospital for a planned visit that had been on the schedule for weeks. It was not connected to the gala. They had promised to come long before. The lobby smelled like clean soap and crayons. Drawings were taped to the walls. Staff moved with a steady calm that came from long practice and deep care. A nurse named Lucy met them near the elevator. She had soft eyes and a tired smile. "Thank you for coming," she said. "The kids have been excited all morning. They went room to room, never rushing. They sat on small chairs. They listened to many stories." A boy with a shaved head showed Keanu a paper sword he had made. A girl with a bandage on her arm asked Anna to braid her hair. Anna's hands were gentle and sure. Keanu held the boy's sword and asked about its name. The boy said, "Brave." Keanu nodded like that was the best name he had ever heard. In the art room, a small girl named Maya sat by the window with a sketchbook. She had big eyes and a quiet way of speaking, like she measured each word before she let it go. She told them she drew at night, when she could not sleep. She showed them a page of stars. Each star had a tiny face with a different feeling: happy, curious, worried, proud. "These are beautiful," Anna said. Maya looked up. "Are you really kind when no one is watching?" she asked. "Or only in pictures?" The room went still. Anna felt the question land in her chest. Keanu did too. He crouched so he was eye level with the girl. "It is a fair question," he said. "I try to be kind when no one is watching. I am not perfect. Some days I fail, but I try." Maya looked at Anna next. Anna held the girl's gaze and nodded. "I try to," she said. "I try because someone was kind to me when I was new in this city. That kindness kept me going. I want to pass it on." Maya looked down at her drawing. "People online are fighting about your picture," she said. "They say it was fake." "I know," Anna said softly. "People say many things when they do not know the full story." Maya thought about that. Then she drew another star and gave it a small, brave smile. After the hospital visit, they walked back through the lobby. The nurse named Lucy thanked them again. She had a necklace with a small silver heart. She looked like someone who carried many worries and many hopes at the same time. As they were about to leave, a young man came in wearing a gray jacket. His face was familiar. It took a second to place him. It was the staff member from the gala who had dropped the tray. He looked nervous. He held a paper envelope. When he saw Keanu and Anna, he froze. "Hey," Keanu said, kind and steady. "Are you okay?" The young man nodded and then shook his head. "My name is Martin," he said. "I wanted to say thank you for last night. I also wanted to say I am sorry. I lost my job this morning. They said I made the event look bad. My manager said the photo went viral and made the venue look careless." Anna felt a sharp twist in her stomach. "You lost your job because of that. That is not fair," she said. Martin swallowed. "I came here because my sister works upstairs," he said. "She is a nurse. She is Lucy." He lifted the envelope. "This is my resume. I am trying to find anything. Security, reception, even night cleaning. I just need to help with bills." Lucy walked over then, surprised to see her brother. She hugged him, then glanced at Anna and Keanu with a look that mixed pride and worry. "We will figure something out," she told Martin, but the lines in her face said it would not be easy. Keanu asked, "What do you like to do?" "I draw," Martin said, almost embarrassed. "I also fix small machines, coffee makers, printers, anything that hums when it should not." Anna smiled. "A little. That is a good skill," she said. "Too many things hum when they should not." They spoke with the hospital coordinator. There was a short-term job opening in maintenance for the night shift, but interviews were next month. The coordinator said she could move it faster if a supervisor agreed. Then she paused and lowered her voice. "The problem is not skill," she said. "The problem is the rumor. Someone posted that the tray drop was planned to make the celebrities look humble. The venue believes it. They think he helped stage it." Keanu felt a slow heat in his chest. It was not anger that flashed and burned out. It was the steady kind that comes when someone good is treated like they are nothing. "We can speak to the venue," he said. "We can tell them the truth." The coordinator shook her head. "They will think you are covering for him. That is how rumors work." Anna looked at Martin. "Did you plan it?" she asked, simple and direct. No, Martin said. I was nervous. My hands were wet from the rain. I slipped, that is all. Anna believed him. Keanu did too. Truth has a plain weight that shows in the eyes. On their way out, they found paparazzi outside the hospital gate. The photo from last night had brought a small crowd. A reporter shouted, "Was the cleanup stunt real or fake?" Another yelled, "Are you together?" Flashes popped like tiny explosions. A child nearby covered his ears. Keanu glanced at Anna, a quiet question in his eyes. Anna nodded once. They moved closer to the child first. Keanu crouched and spoke to him softly. Anna smiled at his mother and made room for them to pass. Then Keanu stood and faced the small crowd. His voice was calm. "We are here for the kids," he said. "Please let the families leave without stress." He did not raise his voice. He did not preach. He simply stood there with quiet patience until the way cleared. Later that day, their teams called. There were new headlines. Some praised them for being calm. Some mocked them for being performers of kindness. One site said there was proof the tray was a setup. They posted a short video clip from the lobby that showed Martin speaking with a woman near the refreshment table before the spill. The caption said, "Look, a plan." Anna watched the clip. The woman was just another worker, pointing to where the drinks should go. It was clear if you watched closely. But many people do not watch closely. They watch fast. They click and move. Keanu sent Anna a message. "Want to meet for tea," the text said. "Quiet place. Good tea. No speeches." They met at a small tea shop near a bookstore that kept the same friendly cat for years. They sat in a corner where the light was soft and no one bothered them. The tea smelled like citrus and warm leaves. "I do not want to feed the rumor," Anna said. "But I do not want Martin to suffer." "We can help without making a show," Keanu said. "We can do what is needed and let the rest be." "What is needed?" Anna asked. "First, get him safe, work fast," Keanu said. "Second, find out who posted the video and why they framed it that way. Not to punish, but to understand. Sometimes a rumor has a root. Pull out the root, and the weeds go still." Anna nodded. "We also need to show what kindness looks like when the camera is not there," she said. "Not to prove anything, just to set our own ground. We decide who we are. The noise does not." They called the hospital and asked if Martin could do a 1-week trial in maintenance, unpaid by the hospital but covered by a small fund Keanu used for quiet help. The hospital agreed. Lucy cried when she heard. Not a loud cry. A soft one she tried to hide with her hand. That night, Anna filmed a short video message alone in her kitchen. No makeup, no lighting, no music. She spoke slowly and simply. "I went to the hospital today," she said. "I saw brave kids. I saw tired nurses who keep going. I saw a brother who lost his job because of a mistake and a rumor. We will help him. We will do it quietly. You do not need to praise us. You do not need to fight in the comments. If you want to do something, be kind to someone near you. That will be enough." She did not post it yet. She saved it. She wanted to sleep on it. The next morning, a new twist came. Anna's agent called, early. A director saw the photo. The agent said, "He thinks your image as a kind star is strong right now. He wants you for a role as a sweet helper who exists to support the male lead. He says your brand will benefit." Anna went very quiet. She thanked the agent and ended the call. She stared at the wall for a long time. Then she laughed once, without humor. She texted Keanu. "Someone wants to turn kindness into a brand," she wrote, and into a small box. Keanu called her. "You can say no," he said. "I will," she said. "But it is not just that. People want simple stories, good and bad, staged and real, helper and hero. Life is not simple. Kindness is not simple. It is a choice made again and again. I want to show that. Then we will, he said. That afternoon, Martin started his trial in maintenance. He worked hard. He fixed a flickering light in the hallway with a careful hand. He repaired a noisy heater that had kept a baby awake. He was quiet and precise, like someone who had been waiting for a chance to prove something to himself, not to the world. During a short break, he told Lucy something he had not told anyone. The manager who fired me, he said, told me, but a certain gossip account had warned the venue that I am a clout chaser. They said I hang around famous people to get photos. But you do not, Lucy said. I do not, he answered. I avoid cameras. I never tag anyone. So where did that come from? Lucy squeezed his shoulder. We will find out, she said, but her eyes were worried. Anna and Keanu met with a friend who worked in digital safety. She was a calm woman with glasses and a steady way of speaking. She said, rumors do not spread by magic. They spread by incentive. Someone gains from this. Maybe clicks, maybe spite, maybe a small power rush. She traced the first posts. She found the gossip account that pushed the staged angle. The profile had no real name, but the timing of its posts matched the schedule of a certain publicist, who often represented loud, flashy clients. The publicist had a history of using conflict to create buzz. The account also followed a new music artist who had a video released the same night as the gala. The publicist for that artist had shared the same rumor within minutes. This is not proof, the friend said, but it is a pattern. Keanu looked at the screen and felt that slow heat again. If we expose them, we feed the fire, he said. Yes, the friend said, but there is another way. Sometimes the best answer is a better story. If truth moves people more than the rumor weakens. Anna smiled. A better story, she said. I like that. They decided to let their actions speak. They did not post the kitchen video. Instead, they planned a quiet weekend at the hospital with the staff. No press, no photos. They would help with night reading, with family rooms, with laundry folding when volunteers needed rest. They would bring new books and soft blankets. They would paint a small mural in the waiting room with Maya and the other kids. A sky full of faces on stars. On Friday night, as they walked in through the side entrance, Lucy met them with a tired smile. Thank you for coming, she said. We had a long day. She led them to the waiting room. The paint cans were stacked near the wall. Brushes were in jars. A faint hum came from the heater that Martin had fixed. It was a good hum now. A calm one. Maya was there with her sketchbook. She ran her fingertips along the blank wall like she was greeting an old friend. We will draw the sky, she said. Not a sad sky, a brave sky. Keanu nodded. A brave sky, he said. As they worked, a quiet peace filled the room. Paint strokes made soft sounds. A nurse laughed in the hallway. A baby cried, and then settled. Time moved like a slow river. Halfway through the night, the lights flickered once, then twice. The room went dim and came back. Lucy frowned. That is not the same light as before, she said. That is the main line. Martin checked the panel. The backup should kick in if it fails, he said. But the backup has not been tested in a while. Let's test it now, Keanu said Dot as they moved to the basement. Someone slipped a phone out in the parking lot. A shadow stood near the fence. A lens pointed toward the lit windows. The gossip account posted, "They are at the hospital again, playing heroes." Cameras rolling. But no one inside saw that post. They were busy, in the basement. The air was cool and smelled like concrete. Martin opened a metal box. Wires lined up like tiny roads. He glanced at Keanu. "Can you hold the flashlight?" Keanu held it steady. The beam did not shake. Anna stood near Lucy, holding a small toolkit. She handed Martin a screwdriver without being asked, as if she had worked with him for years. "The backup will hold," Martin said. "But the switch is old." If we do not clean it now, it might fail during a storm. They cleaned it carefully. Keanu's hands were steady, and Anna kept count of the small screws so none were lost. When the work was done, Martin flipped the switch. The backup hummed on. A green light glowed. Lucy let out a breath she had been holding. "Thank you," she said. "This matters more than you know." They went back upstairs and finished the mural. By dawn, the wall was full of stars with small faces. Some were smiling, some were brave, some were sleepy and calm. Children would add more faces later. There was room for many skies. When they stepped outside, the morning was pale and soft. A few reporters waited by the gate. Not many. Most had given up on a late-night story. The shadow near the fence was gone. The city felt quiet. Anna looked at Keanu. "We cannot control what people say," she said. "No," he said. "We can only choose what we do, and who we do it for," she added. "Yes," he said. "For them?" He nodded toward the hospital windows, where the new mural would greet every worried parent and every tired nurse. That afternoon, a surprise came. The gossip account posted a new message. It said, "Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is not a show." There was a photo attached. It was not a paparazzi photo. It was a picture taken from inside the hospital by a parent who had stayed up all night with her baby. The picture showed two people in paint-stained clothes, sitting on the floor, sharing a sandwich from a paper bag, laughing with a nurse about the way the green paint kept finding their elbows. Their backs were to the camera. Their faces were not clearly visible. The caption said, "They kept us company at 3 a.m. They did not know I took this." They made the room feel warm. The post spread, not like a fire, more like a light slowly turning on in one room after another. Not loud, steady, clear. Late that night, as the city settled, Anna and Keanu both got the same text from unknown numbers. One was from the parent. "Thank you," it said. The other was from a quiet follower of the gossip account. It said, "I run this page. I wrote things without thinking about people. I saw what you did. I am sorry." Anna read the texts and felt tears rise, not from sadness, but from relief. Not everything can be fixed, she knew. Not every rumor can be undone, but sometimes the truth finds a way. Keanu set his phone down and looked out the window. The city lights blinked like small stars. He thought about the boy with the paper sword. He thought about Maya's brave sky. He thought about how kindness is not a brand or a pose. It is hands finding work in the quiet. It is staying when the cameras leave. He texted Anna. "Tomorrow," he wrote, "let's find Martin a steady job, not a trial." "A real one," Anna replied. "Yes, and then we will deal with the root." He wrote back, "Together." And somewhere in the city, a new thread began to weave. It was thin, but strong. It was made of small choices, plain truth, and the kind of courage that does not need to shout. It would be tested soon. Tested harder than they expected. But for now, it held. The root of the room worth. Next morning, the city was just waking when Keanu pulled into a quiet parking lot near an old repair shop. The sign above the door said Jensen's Repairs and Faded Paint. It was a place he had visited years ago, when his motorcycle needed work. The owner, Sam Jensen, was a man who fixed more than machines. He gave people second chances. Keanu stepped inside. The air smelled of oil, metal, and fresh coffee. Sam looked up from under the hood of a car. "You're early," he said, wiping his hands on a cloth. "I'm here about a job," Keanu said. Sam smiled. "You already have a job." "Not for me," Keanu said. "For someone who deserves one." They talked about Martin, his work at the hospital, his skill with machines, the unfair way he lost his job. Sam listened without interrupting, his brow furrowed. "Bring him in," Sam said finally. "If he can work hard and stay honest, I'll give him a full-time spot. No trial, no tricks. That afternoon, Martin walked into the repair shop with his resume in hand. He looked uncertain, but when he shook Sam's hand, his grip was steady. They spoke for a while. Sam gave him a small engine part and asked him to find the problem. Martin worked quietly, and within minutes, he found a frayed wire. Sam nodded. "You start Monday," he said. When Martin left the shop, there was a faint smile on his face. Not wide, not loud, but real. Later that evening, Anna and Keanu met at a small rooftop cafe. The sun was low, painting the city gold. They spoke about Martin's new job, but the conversation soon turned to the gossip account. The owner's apology still echoed in their minds. "I believe they meant it," Anna said, "but I also think there's more. The way the rumor spread was too fast, too targeted. Someone wanted it to hit hard." Keanu nodded. "Then we find the root," he said. Anna had a contact, Lena, a journalist who specialized in quiet investigations. She was not flashy, but she had a gift for following trails no one else noticed. They met her in the back room of a bookstore after hours. The room smelled of paper and dust, and the only light came from a small desk lamp. Lena spread out printed screenshots and timelines on the table. "The gossip account wasn't the first," she said. "The first post came from a private group chat used by certain event staff. Someone in that chat sent the story to 2 influencer accounts at the exact same time. Those accounts have links to a publicist named Gerald Kane." Anna frowned. She knew the name. "Gerald works for actors who live off drama," she said. "He makes noise to get them noticed." "Exactly," Lena said. "And his newest client, a young actor named Cole Varon, was at the gala that night. Cole's team wanted him trending, but the media wasn't covering him. Then, suddenly, the staged kindness rumor hit, and people were talking about the gala all over the internet. Cole's name got pulled into the coverage. Coincidence? Maybe, but unlikely." Keanu sat back, his jaw tightening. "So Martin was collateral damage for someone else's publicity stunt." "Yes," Lena said. "And if you expose them directly, they'll spin it. They'll call it a misunderstanding. But if you can show the truth without making it about them, the damage stops." Anna thought for a long moment. "We can't erase the rumor," she said. "But we can make it so small compared to the truth that no one cares about it anymore." Keanu leaned forward. "How?" "By letting people see the full story of Martin," Anna said. "Not as a defense, not as a rebuttal. Just his life, his work, his kindness, his sister's devotion. The way he helps without anyone knowing. If people meet the real person, the lie loses power." Over the next week, they spent their evenings quietly gathering those moments. Anna filmed short clips of Martin fixing an old coffee maker for the nurses. Keanu recorded him teaching Maya how to change a battery in a small toy car. Lucy shared a photo of him repainting a scuffed bench in the hospital garden on his lunch break. None of it was posed. None of it was polished. But even as they worked on this, something strange began to happen. An anonymous email arrived for Keanu. It said, "Stop digging, or the real story comes out." There was no name, no signature. Anna received a similar message the next day. "You think you know the truth, but you don't. Walk away." They met again at the tea shop. Anna placed her phone on the table. "Screen up. This isn't just about Martin anymore," she said. "Someone thinks we're close to something bigger." Keanu sipped his tea slowly. "Then we keep going," he said. Lena agreed to keep looking into Gerald Kane, but she warned them, "If you push too hard, they'll try to turn the spotlight on you. They'll twist anything they can find." Anna smiled faintly. "Then we give them nothing to twist." But later that night, as she walked to her car, she noticed a man standing across the street. He was smoking, his face hidden in shadow. When she glanced his way, he turned and disappeared into the alley. And for the first time since the gala, Anna felt a cold shiver that had nothing to do with the weather. This wasn't just a rumor anymore. The shadow in the alley night was still, the air heavy with the faint smell of rain from earlier in the day. Anna sat in her car with the engine running, her hands on the steering wheel, but not moving. The image of the man across the street wouldn't leave her mind, the way he stood like he was waiting, not lost or passing by. The way he left only when she noticed him. She drove home, checking her mirror more than usual. Nothing followed her, but the unease stayed. The next morning, she called Keanu. Her voice was steady, but he heard the weight beneath it. "Someone was watching me last night," she said. "I don't think it was paparazzi. No camera, just standing there." "Did you get a good look at him?" Keanu asked. "Not enough," she said. "Dark jacket, smoking, keeping his face in shadow." Keanu's reply was quiet, but firm. "You're not walking to your car alone for a while. I'll come to the set tonight." Later that day, Lena sent them both a message. She had found something. Gerald Kane's assistant, a guy named Matt Rowe, was near the hospital the night of the mural. Security footage shows him walking the fence line twice. He doesn't work there. No reason to be around. Anna read the message twice. "Do you think Matt is the one who's been watching?" she asked Keanu when they met that afternoon. "Maybe," Keanu said. "Or maybe he's the one they send to do what they don't want," traced back. That evening, they visited Martin at the repair shop. The hum of tools filled the space, and the smell of oil was warm and sharp in the air. Martin was working on a small engine, his hands steady. "You're getting good at that," Keanu said. Martin grinned. "Sam says I'm already better than his last hire." Then he noticed the serious look on their faces. "What's going on?" Anna told him about the messages and the man in the alley. She didn't want to make him feel responsible, but she needed him to be careful. Martin listened, his expression tightening. "If they're trying to scare you, that means they think you're close to something they want hidden," he said. Keanu nodded. "And we're going to find out what that is, but we're doing it smart." Lena arranged for them to meet a contact who used to work in event security. His name was Daryl, a tall man with a calm way of speaking. They met in a diner near the highway, where the coffee was always fresh, and the waitress knew everyone's name. Daryl listened as they explained the situation. Then he leaned back in his seat. "I've worked events for Kane's clients before. He doesn't just chase publicity. He controls it. If he needs to bury one story, he'll create another. Sometimes that means ruining someone's name, so the media looks the other way." "So Martin's story was the distraction," Anna said slowly. "Exactly," Daryl said. "I don't know what they were hiding that night, but it had to be something they didn't want in the press. The trade drop gave them the perfect noise to drown it out." Keanu thought for a long moment. "Then we don't just clear Martin's name, we find out what they were covering." Lena pulled up the guest list from the gala. There were over 200 names, but she focused on the ones connected to Kane. One stood out, Cole Varron, the young actor whose career Kane was trying to boost. Cole had left the gala early, no photos after 9 p.m., and no one seemed to know why. Anna tapped the screen. "What if Cole was the story they didn't want out?" she said. "Something happened, and they needed a distraction fast." Daryl nodded. "Makes sense. Find out what happened after he left, and you'll have your answer." The next day, Anna called a wardrobe assistant she knew from the gala. After some hesitation, the woman told her that Cole had gotten into a loud argument with another guest. In a side hallway, there were rumors about damage to the venue, a broken mirror, maybe more, and talk of someone being hurt, but no photos existed, no leaks. It was like the moment had been erased. Keanu stared at the notes on the table in front of them. "They didn't just spin the story," he said. "They erased it." And Martin's so-called staged kindness became the smokescreen. That night, as Anna left a small meeting with Lena, she saw him again, the man in the dark jacket, standing near the corner. This time, Keanu was with her. "Stay here," he said quietly. He crossed the street, his steps steady, but before he reached the corner, The man turned and slipped into a passing crowd. Keanu returned, his expression unreadable. "He's trained," he said. "Not just a random guy. He knew how to disappear fast." Anna looked toward the empty corner, the streetlight casting long shadows. "Then we're not just dealing with gossip," she said. "We're dealing with someone who thinks this is worth hiding at any cost." And for the first time, the kindness they had shown at the gala felt like the spark to something far bigger and far more dangerous than they had imagined. The trapped next morning, the city felt sharper, like every sound carried an edge. Anna woke to the soft hum of her phone vibrating on the nightstand. It was a message from Lena. "Meet me at my office ASAP. Urgent." Her office was a converted storage room above a small print shop, the walls lined with shelves of labeled folders and old hard drives. Lena was already at her desk when Anna arrived, her laptop open, coffee untouched. "We've got movement," Lena said without preamble. "Last night, someone tried to access Martin's employment records at the hospital. They used a fake ID, but the security logs caught them. And here's the part that matters. The access came from a laptop registered to Matt Rowe." Anna's stomach tightened. "So Matt's not just hanging around. He's actively digging into Martin's life." Lena nodded. "And if Kane's people can't discredit Martin with the trade drop rumor anymore, they'll look for something else. Anything, even if they have to make it up." Keanu arrived a few minutes later, his expression dark when Lena filled him in. "They're trying to plant something on him," he said. "Once it's out there, people will believe it, no matter what we say." "Then we don't wait," Lena replied. "We set the trap before they do." The plan was simple in theory. Create a false lead, make it look like they'd left a trail worth following, and see who took the bait. They decided to use an unused storage locker in Martin's name, something public enough to appear in a casual record search. Inside, they placed an old laptop that Keanu had wiped clean, leaving behind a single file, a harmless document labeled Gala Incident Report, Confidential. "If Matt breaks in to get it," Lena said, "we'll know he's the leak, and the operative. We'll catch him in the act." Martin agreed reluctantly, though his hands tightened when he signed the short-term lease for the locker. "I don't like being bait," he admitted, "but if it ends this, I'll do it." For 2 days, nothing happened. Then, on the third night, Lena's motion alert went off. The locker camera hidden in the corner near the ceiling showed a figure in a dark jacket picking the lock. It was Matt Rowe. He moved fast, pulling out the laptop, sliding it into his bag, and leaving without looking around. Lena tracked his phone location through a contact in a network security firm. "He's heading to a loft downtown," she said. "Probably a drop point." Keanu glanced at Anna. "We should follow, not call the police yet." They trailed Matt's car through dim back streets until he parked near a brick building with tall, narrow windows. He went inside. 10 minutes later, the man from the alley, the one who had been watching Anna, stepped out from a side door, carrying the same laptop bag. "He's the handoff," Keanu said quietly. Anna pulled out her phone and filmed from the car. The man walked to another vehicle, got in, and drove off. "If we follow both, we lose both," Lena said. "We pick one." Keanu's voice was calm but certain. "We follow him," he said, meaning the shadow from the alley. "He's higher up the chain." The man's car wound through the city, finally stopping outside a glass office tower. The lobby lights were still on, though. It was late, and the name Kane and Associates gleamed in silver letters on the wall inside. Anna felt the truth settle like a weight. "It all goes straight back to him," she whispered. "They didn't go in. Instead, they documented everything. The license plate, the building, the time, the transfer." Lena would have her contacts secure the data. But before they left, Anna noticed movement on the sidewalk. Across the street, a woman stood in the shadows, holding a phone aimed at them. Her hair was short, her coat long, her posture tense. "We've been made," Lena said, starting the car. The woman lowered the phone, stepped into the light, and smirked before walking away. Anna had never seen her before, but something in that smirk told her she wasn't just a bystander. Back at Lena's office, they reviewed the footage from the storage locker and the street. The pieces were lining up: Matt as the errand runner, the alley shadow as the enforcer, Kane as the orchestrator. But the woman was new, a wild card. You don't bring in someone like her unless things are about to escalate, Lena said. This means they're not just defending a secret, they're preparing to attack. Anna looked at Keanu, her voice steady. Then we stop waiting for the next move. We make it. Keanu nodded slowly. But if we go at Kane directly, we can't miss. One mistake, and they'll bury Martin, us, and anyone near us. Then we don't miss, Anna said. We build something so solid they can't twist it. Lena leaned back in her chair. That means going into the gala's hidden records, the stuff the venue kept off the books. And I know exactly who can get us in. None of them noticed the small blinking light on the corner shelf of Lena's office. It wasn't part of her setup. It wasn't hers at all. And somewhere in the city, the woman with the smirk watched a live feed of them planning their next move. Into the Wolf next day began with a thick, gray sky over the city, the kind that made everything feel closer, heavier. Anna met Keanu at a quiet parking lot 2 blocks from the gala venue. Lena was already there, leaning against her car, a messenger bag over her shoulder. My contact is inside, Lena said. He used to work security here before the management changed. He still has access to the maintenance systems. Tonight, he'll get us into the sublevel archives. That's where they keep unedited security footage and internal reports. Keanu scanned the street. And if Kane's people are watching this place, we keep our visit short. No lingering. The contact's name was Elliot, a tall man in his late 40s, with calm eyes and a voice like low gravel. He met them by a service entrance at the side of the building. His clothes blended with the staff, plain black shirt, utility belt, lanyard clipped to his pocket. Records rooms. In the sublevel behind a steel door, Elliot explained, as they followed him through dim back corridors. Passcode changes every week. I've got this week's. There's no camera inside the vault itself, but there are 2 in the hall leading to it. We'll need that footage too, Lena said. We don't want them knowing we were here. Elliot nodded, already looping it. The air grew cooler as they descended a narrow flight of stairs. The hum of the city above faded until all that remained was the low buzz of fluorescent lights. The steel door at the end of the hall stood like a bank vault, keypad glowing. Faint green. Elliot tapped in the code. The vault smelled faintly of paper and metal. Rows of shelves held labeled boxes and hard drives. In the far corner, a terminal screen glowed, waiting for a login. Lena moved straight to the terminal, her fingers quick over the keys. I'm pulling data from the night of the gala, she said. Main lobby, side hallway, staff corridors, back exit. The system keeps raw footage for 90 days. We're just inside the window. Anna scanned the shelves. These boxers? What's in them? Incident reports, Elliot said. Anything security had to write up. If something got officially erased, this is the last place it might still exist. Keanu moved to the November events section and began checking labels. Halfway down the row, he stopped. This one's sealed, he said, holding up a box marked Incident 14B, Restricted Access. There was no staff signature, just a red stamp that read Pending Review. Lena looked up from the terminal. Open it. Inside were printed stills from security footage, grainy, but clear enough to see Colverin in the side hallway, his face twisted in anger. Opposite him stood a man in a dark suit, hand raised as if to calm him. The next frame showed the mirror behind them shattering, glass spraying across the floor. In the following frame, the suited man was on the ground, blood visible near his temple. Anna's chest tightened. This is what they were hiding, she said. Check the timestamp, Keanu said. What happened after? Lena pulled up the matching video file on the terminal. They watched the sequence in motion, Cole shouting, the suited man trying to walk away, Cole grabbing his arm, the mirror breaking, the man falling. A moment of stillness before two people rushed into frame, Matt Rowe and the woman with the smirk. They helped Cole out of the hallway, stepping carefully around the broken glass. Lena froze the frame. That's her, the Watcher. She's not just muscle, she's cleanup. Elliot spoke quietly. The man who fell, that's Daniel Frost, event sponsor, big investor in the venue. If he pressed charges, it would have been a scandal. But no charges were filed, Anna said. Elliot nodded, because Kane made sure it never reached the police. Frost was paid off. I'd bet my life on it. Keanu leaned over the table. We have the truth now. Footage, stills, timestamps, everything. The question is, how do we use it without Kane spinning it back on us? Lena began copying files to an encrypted drive. We don't post it ourselves, she said. We leak it to someone who can't be bought, someone Kane won't see coming. Before they could decide who, Elliot's radio crackled softly. A voice. Unit 4, report your location. Elliot stiffened. That's not a standard check-in. Someone's looking for us. They packed fast. Lena wiped the terminal history. Keanu returned the box exactly where he found it, and Anna tucked the stills into a folder inside her jacket. They moved toward the exit. In the hallway, footsteps echoed from the stairs. Elliot motioned them toward a side maintenance door. They slipped out into a narrow alley behind the venue. Cold air hit their faces. A shadow moved at the far end of the alley, the woman with the smirk. She was leaning against the wall, phone in hand. When she saw them, she smiled again, slow and knowing. Find what you were looking for, she asked, her voice calm. Keanu stepped forward, his tone steady. More than you wanted us to. Her eyes flicked to the folder in Anna's jacket, then back to Keanu. Be careful with that. Some truths are heavier than they look. Carry them wrong, and they'll crush you. She turned and walked away, vanishing into the street before they could respond. Anna looked at Lena. She knows exactly what we have, and she's warning us, Lena said. But not to help us, to remind us she can get to us anytime. As they reached the safety of Lena's car, Keanu looked back at the alley, the echo of the woman's words hanging in the cold air. The truth was in their hands now, but so was the danger, and every step from here would have to be perfect. The releaseth rain returned the next morning, soft at first, then steady, turning the streets into rivers of silver light. Anna sat at her kitchen table with the folder open in front of her. The stills from the gala incident lay in neat order, each one a piece of a truth too sharp to hold for long. Keanu arrived just after sunrise. He didn't bother with tea or coffee. His eyes went straight to the folder. We need someone who can handle this without getting bought off, he said. Someone who doesn't care about Kane's reach. Lena joined them, her laptop under one arm. I've thought about it all night, she said. There's one name. No mainstream outlet. No glossy magazine. Just a small independent network that lives on crowd support. The Witness Post. They've broken stories. Before that scared bigger players. They check their facts twice, and once they put something out, they don't take it down. Anna nodded. Then that's where it goes. They set the meeting for that evening in a dim back room of an old radio station. The Witness Post's lead investigator, a wiry man named Rafi, listened without interrupting as they laid out the evidence, the stills, the footage, the timeline, the chain of cover-up, from Cole Varon to Kane's network. When the video ended, Rafi leaned back. This isn't gossip, he said. This is assault, cover-up, and coordinated character destruction to hide it. Once this runs, it won't just be Kane answering questions. The venue, Frost, Varon, they'll all have to speak. We don't want the story to be about us, Keanu said. Keep Martin out of the headlines if you can. Raffi nodded. We can lead with the facts, not the side stories. But you should know, once this goes live, there's no going back. Kane will come at you from every angle. Anna met Keanu's gaze. We're ready. The Witness Post published the piece 48 hours later. The headline was simple. Exclusive footage reveals hidden altercation at charity gala. The article opened with the hallway stills, followed by the full unedited clip. It detailed Frost's injury, Kane's cleanup operation, and the rumor campaign that destroyed Martin's job to bury the incident. Names were named. Connections were mapped by noon. The story was everywhere. Bigger outlets picked it up, forced to credit the Witness Post. Social feeds filled with outrage, not at Anna or Keanu, but at the power games that had hidden the truth. Martin's name trended alongside the words wrongfully accused and cleared. Kane issued a statement denying involvement, but it rang hollow. Frost released his own statement, confirming the injury and the payout. Colvaren's lawyer announced the actor would be taking time away from the public. Matt Rowe disappeared from social media entirely, and the woman with the smirk. She sent no threats this time, only a single, short text to Lena's secure phone. You've played it well. Don't look for me. In the days that followed, Martin settled into his job at Jensen's Repairs, without the shadow of the rumor hanging over him. Lucy stopped wearing that constant worry on her face. Maya sent Anna and Keanu a drawing of the hospital mural. But now, there were more stars in the sky, some new, some brighter. Anna and Keanu met one last time with Lena on the hospital rooftop at dusk. Below them, the city glowed, and somewhere, in the windows was the mural they had painted. You know this won't be the last time something like this happens, Lena said. Truth is fragile. It's always one rumor away from breaking. Keanu nodded. Then we keep choosing it anyway. Anna smiled faintly. Not because it's easy, but because we decide who we are. They stood there for a while, letting the quiet hold them. And when they finally walked back inside, it wasn't with the heaviness of people who had won a fight. It was with the steady, grounded step of those who had chosen not to turn away, and would choose again, no matter the cost.